By Nigerian law, children over the age or under the age of 18 should not be gambling. But what are we seeing? We are seeing increasingly children being exposed to gambling ads. You were watching AFCON the other day. I can ask you, out of 10 ads that you saw, how many were betting company ads? Probably 9 out of 10. So, how would children not be exposed to this? As parents, you need to monitor that. Even on your financial tech platforms, you are getting exposed to ads. Imagine a traditional bank, 100 years plus old in Nigeria, sending its users notification that Nigeria is playing Ghana and that they should come and fund their betting wallets through their app. That is wrong. These are, these are the things that are pushing people into it. Because on one hand, the industry will say, oh, gamble for entertainment. But on the other hand, you're heavily incentivizing them to gamble. We've broken this thing down because we've done several audits of these financial tech platforms and even traditional banking. I'll give you an instance. There was a fintech company that sent over 10 notifications to a particular user to gamble in under 2 minutes. Is that, how responsible is that? We are seeing them, almost forcing people to deposit money. The other day, we saw one that said, if you deposit 1,000 into your betting wallet, we'll add another 200 naira for you. What are you trying to do? You don't know that you're enabling problem gambling. You don't know that you're triggering vulnerable people. You don't also know that they are underage children using these apps. So parents have to be mindful. We also seen a case where they've been advertising on their platform to users to say, if you deposit into your betting wallet every single day, you will stand a chance to win an iPhone. How and why? Is that not irresponsible? And the worst of all that we've recently discovered is that a very leading financial tech platform is, guess what, offering gambling based loans to its users. They call it buy now, pay later. And they are marketing it by saying, oh, if you want to gamble and you don't have money to gamble, then use our buy now, pay later to, to gamble and pay for it later. That is unheard of. That is the hallmark of a society that is entering its final stages in disintegration. We should not allow that as parents, as communities, as institutions. That should not be allowed in any way, which is why I thank NDLEA for giving us this platform to speak. I thank all of the people for supporting our work and trying to help us raise awareness. We cannot do it on our own. And these are the things crippling societies. These are the influences impacting on young people to this very day. And with young people and with underage people, they are struggling. Their brain is not fully formed yet enough in some instances to be able to, resist all of the temptations, all of the pressures that are being thrown at them. So please, for parents, you have to be very mindful. Another thing is that with your words, you should not be shy of, talking earlier about the risk of some of these habits. You should not be shy of doing that. We also encourage that parents, speak to their school counselors, they speak to their community centers. Parents should have all of this, help toll-free numbers available. If you're not sure how to handle some of these situations, you should be able to reach out to like this NDLA toll-free line for help. Now, for the wider community, one of the things I'll say first is that we need stronger institutional support. NDLEA is an example of strong institutional support. And I'll give you an example. The other day, I called their toll free line, just out of curiosity. I called it at midnight and I could not believe that this was a public service. It was fantastic. A particular lady by the name of Chidera was the one that handled my call. And she broke down several things. She basically gave me this guide of DDD, where if you were facing an addiction, the first thing to do is to delay it. The second thing to do is to distract it. It was so professional, so well handled. And from my experience of managing such a huge community of addicts, I could see how beneficial these toll-free lines are as first line responders for when people call for help. So we need to promote these toll-free lines. Now, for communities, we want to encourage traditional rulers, religious leaders, start having or making these topics around drug abuse, substance abuse, gambling addiction, start making it an open conversation. Involve it as part of your community meetings, because these things, what you're seeing, these vices are eating deep down into communities. They are not just tearing the fabric of families apart, they are tearing communities. So local leaders have a role to play by making this an open conversation. Another thing is that communities, neighborhoods, you need to make it your neighborhoods harder places for young people to be exploited. I'll give you an instance. You're in a community, because last year we visited over 49 betting shops. And I can tell you, most of those betting shops were located in very poor communities. And one of the things we were asking is, why is this betting shop situated right next to a school? And we even heard that in some instances during school hours or even after school hours, these children will branch in with their school uniform. Why? Why are you having betting shops next to universities? Why are you having gambling adverts in front of schools where young people are advertising gambling directly to them? Why? So, as communities, as neighborhoods, you need to be able to push back at these things. You need to be able to report to say that this particular outlet or this thing should not be allowed here. Again, a very positive role that community can do is, and this is so critical, is community needs to learn how to support positive youth spaces and to promote positive role models. Let me start with the role models. What are we seeing now? The role models that are being promoted are people that, they are making money fast, or they are making money in ways that are dubious, but everybody likes them because they're exciting to watch. They seem to be buying a car every other day. What are you encouraging these young people to do? You're basically telling them that hard work doesn't pay, because you're promoting a role model that cannot really show the source of wealth. So we need to do a role reversal, social and re-engineering, where we promote young role models that are actually doing work of substance. And same thing with promoting positive youth spaces. Where are we seeing most young people congregate these days? You see them maybe at match viewing centers, you see them at betting shops, maybe at street corners. It's no surprise that these same spaces where you see them congregating is these same spaces that shape their thinking, that shape their mindsets. How is somebody going to come up with the next life-changing idea inside maybe a betting shop or inside a viewing center? How? Rather, we are saying that communities should prioritize places like reading clubs, tech technological hubs, creative studios, skill centers, invest in mentorship programs. Last year, Gamble Aware NG, we partnered with Strange Village Media, and we ran a couple of master classes where we taught students photography, we taught them videography. Now, for this year, we're even expanding it so that we'll teach young women and young men drone photography so that they can use that and build new skills. And the reason we are doing that is because with master classes, with skill centers, you're expanding the population of people that have access to a productive skill set, which is very important in nation building. Because in nation building, what do you want to do? You simply want to improve or increase on the productivity base of your nation. And a simple way to increase the productivity base is to increase the skill set. So reading clubs, tech hubs are critical, because when you encourage creativity, you're bringing purpose, because creativity brings purpose. A lot of times, the thousands of people, thousands of young Nigerians that we've counseled, do you know what we found out at the end? We found out that the problem with most of them is that they don't have purpose. They don't have purpose. Yes, I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. So one of the things, and not having purpose means that they lack that drive. They don't have aspiration. They don't even have a plan for the next 2 weeks. The only thing some of them know is gambling or how do I make money fast through forex or crypto and all that. So one of the things that we've introduced into our recovery conversations is encouraging these young people to start writing down their plans. We tell them, pick a sheet of paper, write down your plan for the next 3 years, fold that sheet of paper, put it in your back pocket, and be referencing it. And it's very powerful because, like we tell them, the things you write down, most times in life, you always accomplish it. If I look back to all the things I wrote down last year, I would say I would have accomplished over 95% of them. So, writing things down, having a plan, having a vision for your life is a very, very vital step to building purpose. Another thing, again, with communities, stand against the celebration of dirty money. Stand against the celebration of quick money, fast fame, and all. And if you look at our social media, you look at around you, you will see that a lot of things are being glamorized. Drug use is being glamorized. Gambling, gambling is being glamorized. Nobody's telling you the dangers of gambling, but they are glamorizing it. If you see the adverts, it is always about people winning. But have you ever seen a gambling advert where somebody was losing? No. But in gambling, it's always either you win or you lose. So why is it that when it is being advertised, nobody tells you that you can lose, or nobody really tells you the effects of how this thing can lead you into deep degenerative addiction? We hardly hear that. So we need to stand against glamorization of some of these things. We need community leaders, parents to come out and publicly honor young people who are succeeding through skills and integrity. Instead, what we are seeing, everybody wants to be a forex millionaire. I had a so-called forex millionaire come to us the other day. He was $8,000 in debt and he was owing 26 people that $8,000. That's to show you how quickly they can spiral when they are losing money. Another thing is that communities need to partner with schools. They need to work closer with institutions where young people are. With Gamble Aware NG, with the limited resources we have, we've done our best. Last year, we partnered, we've set up student volunteer groups in about 5 universities. We are present in Lagos State University. We have student volunteer groups in University of Calabar. We have student volunteer groups in Ekiti, University of Abuja, and in Ibadan as well. And we can use these student communities to educate other students, young people, on the dangers of drug abuse. We can use them to educate them on the dangers of gambling. We can also use them to promote NDLEA toll-free lines. And again, Safemi, we are going to come to your office to talk about that synergy in much detail later. But we are realizing that there's opportunities, a lot of opportunities to
We're
synergize. And
we're
that's
waiting
simply because
we're waiting for you. We are waiting for Gambo Aware and your lobby stars partner, please.
we are coming, sir. You will see us, sir, very soon. By next week, you'll see us, sir. So we have noticed that there's a lot of opportunities to synergize, and that's simply because we have huge access to young people, to young creative communities that can help us, highlight, promote, and encourage others against some of these vices. Now, within communities, we are also seeing that there are roles that local and faith-based communities can play. So, for instance, your churches and your mosque. There's a power, in standing behind the pulpit or standing behind the mosque to encourage young people to set boundaries on certain things. Raise awareness on peer pressure, raise awareness on online scamming, raise awareness, and not just raising awareness. Churches must to become, units that can host, confidential counseling sessions where they can support families that are dealing with drug use. They can support families where their children or young ones are dabbling into crime. Or it's not that it's not happening, it's happening, but we are just saying it should happen more. And again, to address the root causes of this behavior. So, community based organizations, faith groups have a role to play in responding with skills trainings, in responding with small grants, mentorship opportunities, so that these young people have real alternatives to quick money schemes, or don't think that the only way they can make it in this life is by gambling. Because, like I said, one of the major drivers leading people into gambling addiction is that need for fast money, is that thinking that, oh, this particular bet can change my life. And like I said, advertising, some of these organizations are not trying. The other day, I saw an organization that posted an advert that said that someone used 1,000 naira to win 17 million naira. Do you know the odds of that? Do you know the chances of that? You will need to play that 1,000 naira over 17,000 times to even be able to stand a chance to win that. And you're encouraging it. You're making it look like, oh, that was based on skill, not knowing that that was based on chance and that was just one out of millions or thousands. But this is what is being encouraged. So we are saying that communities, parents, families, individuals, we all need to come together to start orientating these children, start, some sort of reorientation to young people that this is not the way to go. And again, if you look at our community, one of the things we realize is that people or young people are beginning to lose focus in terms of reward. People are beginning to think that hard work doesn't pay again. And that's simply because they are finding new ways to make money really, really fast, whether it's through gambling, whether it's through crypto exchange and all that. We need to start educating them that there are other ways you can make money. And you can make money in such a way that you're building systems, you're building structures, you're empowering other people. These real life alternatives need to be, they need to be prioritized, they need to be publicized, and they need to be promoted. Because a lot of people out there now are thinking that the only way I can make money is to make money through a fast, a get rich fast scheme, which again is another reason we would applaud the National Orientation Agency, which is one of our partners. The NOA, they have this 7 for 7 scheme. And one of the things that they are also promoting is for youth to shun fast money schemes. And with fast money schemes, we've seen quite a lot of it. We've seen Nigerians losing billions of naira to fast money schemes. So we need to reorientate the public on some of these things. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up and just to talk a little bit about the work that we've been doing with young people, with families. Like I said earlier, we are seeing more instances where families are coming for help. And if you're a young person on this call and you're struggling with either substance abuse or you're struggling with gambling, I want you to know that your family is a safe space for you. You must be able to open up to your family. And I also want you to know that the harm that you're causing is not just to yourself. The harm you're causing will, whether you like it or not, invariably suck or draw in your family. And I'll give you examples. The other week, we had a family, they came to us for help. They are busy paying off almost 170 million naira in debt that their son brought to them. The mother has had to sell her cars. The father has had to liquidate one of his properties. We hear this every day. Now we are beginning to counsel not just these young people themselves, their family members, their sisters, their brothers, their younger ones, because your addiction would impact not just you, but your family. Because the money that your family would use in training others, they are busy using it to pay off your debt. So understand that this addiction doesn't impact you alone. It impacts your family and it impacts your community, which is why now we are beginning to extend our services to cover families. And again, within this year, we'll also extend our services to be able to cater for communities. So think about community awareness session on gambling harm, community awareness sessions on the effects of drugs and on crime and on all of that. Another thing we are also beginning to do more of is we want to create, or we are creating, safe spaces. We are creating spaces where young people, peer-to-peer networks can come up and talk freely about the pressures that they are facing from betting, from drugs, from fraud, without being shamed. And I'll take that time now and appreciate some of our young people here. We have Lobby Stars that has been doing an amazing job. Lobby Stars started with less than 53 followers last year, and now is at almost 200,000 followers. And one of the major things he always speaks about is gambling and the effects of gambling addiction. So thank you. We also have young people like Arillo. Arillo is one of our young influencers on TikTok. Every week on Fridays, and on Thursdays, he hosts a live session on TikTok where over 800 plus young people come to attend every week without fail. And we are realizing that these touch points with young people are prime opportunities to be able to promote healthy lifestyles, promote, you know, promote positive and responsible decision making around drug involvement, around betting. So we're encouraging people, please share, if you're in our community and you're attending these sessions, share it out there so that other young people can come, can join and speak freely, and also to promote positive behavior within young people. Another thing we're also doing is training for teachers, training for leaders on how to identify early warning signs, on how to help counsel these young people without stigmatizing them, and also on how to refer them to help. Stronger communities, stronger families, stronger peer-to-peer network will really, really help us in terms of how we are managing this increasing societal harm on addiction, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's gambling. So please, you all have a role to play. And then thirdly and lastly, what we also want to do is strengthen our collaboration with regulators that are regulating the gambling industry. We've been writing to them to say, please, we need to work closer together because there's quite a lot that is happening that, if I were to say, is tied to regulatory failure. Let me give you an instance, and this is not, I mean, we all want a better Nigeria, so I'll speak boldly about this. We looked at we have over 78 licensed betting companies in Nigeria. And we looked at the rules that were set by the gambling industry regulators. And I can tell you that over 60% of these gambling operators are not following the rules. And because they are not following the rules, it's leading to harm for these young people. Let me give you an instance. One of the laws states that each of these gambling platforms must have the ability for players to self-exclude, meaning that the player should be able to say, I don't want to play on this platform, I'm leaving you. What we are seeing is the opposite. Some platforms don't have provision for players to self-exclude. The law also says that a player should be able to leave your platform for nothing less than a minimum of 3 months to a maximum of a lifetime. Instead, what are we seeing? We are seeing the reverse of that, where a player cannot leave or cannot self-exclude for that platform for more than 3 months. So the minimum is 24 hours and the maximum is 3 months. A complete reversal of what the law provides for. And we are saying your laws are being broken, but no one is saying anything about it. So we need parents, we need communities to help us amplify this messaging because these are the same things that are leading to young people, committing. And a lot of them now, I think you've heard the news recently. Someone committed suicide the other day because he lost 600,000. If I tell you the number of I am at risk of suicide messages that we get, if I open our just this Twitter inbox, I can pull out almost 600 messages from people saying, I want to commit suicide. I don't know if you know how it feels to be a young person. You lost all your money that were given to you. You have nothing to do. So for a lot of them, what comes to their mind at that instance is what? It's suicide. And to consider that some of them are not even with their senses because maybe they are under the pressure, they are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, which further deteriorates their decision-making abilities. This is what we are facing on a day-to-day. Every single day, we're handling calls from people that are trying to commit suicide. The other day, someone sent us a picture where he was hitting his head on the wall and he broke his head and blood was everywhere. These young people need help. They need your protection. And you cannot stigmatize them and say, after all, you have control over yours. It really doesn't work that way. There are a multitude of factors that will lead a young person to be involved in substance abuse or to be involved in addictive gambling. So, as parents, as communities, we need to dig in deeper, which again, I want to keep saying thank you to NDLEA for the support, for your helplines, for all of the platforms that you're creating, including this space where people can come and can talk about these issues. In the Nigerian and in the African context, we always know that strong families and tight communities have been our safety net. So we need to strengthen that. Drug abuse, gambling, youth crime, all of these things grow fastest when this net is weak. And my people, I'm telling you that from our view here, this safety net is becoming weaker because our values across the society, we are beginning to lose sense of our values. We are promoting the wrong things. So please, we are using this medium to encourage everyone, parents, communities, everyone on this call. Please come together. Let us rebuild this net. Let us rebuild this safety net so that these young people will know that they are watched, they are loved, and that they are not abandoned to the streets. So I'm going to end this by just saying thank you, everyone, for having me. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to take them. And if you know how passionate we are about this topic, if you leave us, we can talk about it for the next 24 hours. But for now, I'm just going to stop here and hand over to the host if there are any questions or if there are any comments that you want to add to this. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. Very well. Thank you very much there. Gabriel J. Apabio is the founder of Gabo Aware NG. He's done excellently well within a very short time that he had there. We're glad it's really indeed a presentation we enjoyed and seeing quite a number of people that wants to contribute and quite I want to appreciate everyone joining us via our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Also, we have on X Space here, quite a number of people. Let me just glance through and call out some. Anyway, it's difficult to call everybody, but then King Zanga, Itohan, Suleiman, Lobby Stars especially. I can see all the members of Lobby Stars coming in, joining them. Thank you very much, Lobby Stars. So Crypto Empire, that's Atola Mile Conservative. Thank you. D. Aremu, Eli, Mr. Money, Virgin, Humble Soul, Comrade Ismaila, ATK, Juja, Nwoke Oma, Hardy Funds, Niger Hustler, Real MZ, Danny Hay of Lala, Femi Ladiran, regular Hickins, String 007, Bayo Bets, Mr. Wale Temi, Traderholic, Oluwaseyi, Zami, Uncle Deji. Thank you very much, Uncle Deji, at regular here. Funsho Jimo, also regular. Benny, Mark Henry, Pascal Ewebu, thank you, Pascal Ewebu, our regular. Paloma, Abuja Landlord, Bello, Moyo O, Dave, Natty J, Eve, Newton, Booty King, Farouk, Perpetua, Namdi Emmanuel, thank you, Perpetua. Ada is a girl, Olaleye Emmanuel is Tosin Para, Somtoshuku, Geoffrey Moet, Alessandra Okoro, thank you, Alessandra, Mr. Pero, Michael Westbrook, the Lajer Sultan, Pascal Webu, yes, that's there. Mr. Nelson, Oshoma, Halima, Eagle Boy, Henko Seed, John, Norma, Big Dog, T.Y. Aziz, Awaise Emmanuel, Abdulmalik Yahaya, Muhammad Rufina, Udeme John, 1% developer, Lobby Star Junior, Blessed Sam, Khalil Junior Lawson, Starlight, Bashir Ibrahim, that's my colleague there. Homie, Miss Goma, Ariyo, Isaiah Ashimogo, Progress. Chris vibes quite a lot. Let's just pause it there and let's begin. Let's start the conversation. Let's start from 1% developer. Let's hear your question or your contribution. Thank you. First developer, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So while Mr. Gabriel was speaking, I just got notification from OP asking me to come and bet, and I've gotten this notification up to 5 times today. I keep dismissing them on my device, and it's kind of disturbing and distracting. So I don't know if um, there is a possible means of you know, coming up with a petition or something for some of these organizations to stop these notifications. Like something like a petition, these companies should stop sending these notifications to devices. And I believe that notifications should have a threshold, the number of it you send to a particular user per day. But I've gotten up to 5 of these notifications in a day. So if there could be like a petition or a platform or something where these companies can be reported for sending certain notification consistently to a particular user, yeah, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
All
And
right,
thank you,
thank you
sir.
very much.
Femi.
Okay,
Okay.
please go ahead, Gambo Aware.
No, no, thank you so much. And to the speaker, sorry for that. I mean, you are absolutely just buttressing the points we're making earlier. There are almost no safeguards. There's almost nothing holding back some of these organizations from exploitative and aggressive predatory marketing practices that we are seeing. We have never seen the kind of scale that we are seeing today. And like I said, you saw five notifications in such a short while. We've seen someone receiving over 12 notifications in just minutes. And to your point, yes, I think that is one of the reasons why we are here to raise this awareness to the public to say this needs to stop. On our own, we've taken the official channels. We've written to the regulator, not just one, but two of them to say that this needs to stop. We've started raising this alarm over 6 months ago. And we're telling them that what's happening here is that you're influencing young people to do what they shouldn't be doing. And again, if you look at some of those in our community that are recovering from gambling addiction, imagine you're just sitting down there innocently. All of a sudden, a notification pops up and says, "Oh yeah, come and claim 1,000 naira and go and gamble." A lot of them cannot resist, and that is what is causing harm. So yes, if there's any, maybe lawyer in the building that can advise us on how to maybe raise a petition, we're happy to hear. But to let you know that we've followed the official channels, we've written to the regulators, we've tried reaching some of these fintech platforms to tell them that the harm you're causing you are causing quite a lot of harm. But I mean, nobody's responding to us. We've really done our best. We are hoping that institutions that are aware of this can help us carry this forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. We also like to assure the 1% developer there that on this platform, whatever discussions we hear, I mean, we have here, we also take notes and we share some of this information with relevant government agencies. And just like you just mentioned now, definitely is one of those things. I already have I mean, an appropriate or relevant government agency that we hope to share this with, who has some level of leverage or power over such incidents. So definitely rest assured that we would be escalating this to the appropriate channel. Thank you for your contribution there and an observation. Let's take the next contribution from Eagle Boy. Eagle Boy, please unmute yourself. Let's hear from you. Okay, if Eagle Boy is not ready, we move to the next person. That's Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson. Okay, Eagle Boy, you are
Sorry.
ready? Okay,
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
please go ahead.
GM, everyone. Um, I'm happy that I have to join this piece today. Because everything that has been everything that has been spoken here, it's like I should say, it's like part of reflection of almost every youth in the country today. Because if you have the privilege to like interact you have the privilege to interact with like two or three youths or maybe 10, you get to find out that out of these 10, at least five, or let's say seven, will either be into gambling or doing drugs and all. And it's very, very concerning. And I also have to make this testimony. I am I was a gambler as well. Let me just put it that way. Though I've never done drugs in my life, but I was a gambler. And at a point, I get to understand that I was not able to be saving money. Even when I have the last card of me, I will have to like think about gambling first, because in my own and thought, I would think that if if I have 100 naira, and instead of like using it to do something meaningful, let me just go and double it up. That's the sentence all the youths that are into gambling. That's the sentence they always have or thought. Like, let me double it. Maybe if I go, I'll double it, something like that. At the end of the day, you see that even the 100 naira you have, at the end of the day, you see that it will go, and then you'll be left with nothing. To a point that you have to go to some apps and borrow money and all of those things. And at the end of the day, you'll be in debt. You will not have money, you will not have job, you will not have anything, you'll be in debt. And something once you don't have money, you don't have any hope of survival. The next thought that will come in your mind is how to make money, and then you start thinking about negative ways of making money and all of those. So bringing topics like this and educating the youth is something very, very important to do in the society. And I was coming in here to ask some questions, but thank God they have like clarified most of the questions and the issues I've had, questions I've had in my brain, because I was trying to ask how we are going to regulate all of these things and reduce some of these betting sites in the country. Because today, on my street, only on my street alone, we have more than 20 betting shops only on my street, and this is something that is not that it's not supposed to be so. Let me just put it that way. It's not supposed to be so, because little children are living around and they keep sometimes little children even go to those betting shops because they go and watch football, something like that, or they have a movie and something like that. So you see that even children below the ages of 18, you see them going gambling. And on the site, why on the site you see that you must be plus 18. So things like that, if they are put in check, it will be very good. And my testimony is that I've made a decision that I've stopped gambling. I've deleted every app that has to concern gambling, and I've done all the um, self exclusion and all of those things on all the apps, gambling apps that I used to gamble then. and I'm happy about that. And I pray that God will keep me and every other youth who is on this path of destruction to like rediscover themselves and change for good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. We join you to say amen to that. Thank you very much. I will wish you all the best, Eagle Boy. Please keep it up. All right. Thank you very much. Let's quickly move to the next person. When there is need for Gambo Aware to respond, definitely he has the floor to unmute himself and respond or speak to any of the issues. But if perhaps there is none, then we'll move to the next person. So let's take the next contribution from Mr. Nelson. Please, Mr. Nelson, go ahead, unmute yourself and let's hear from you. Yes, Mr. Nelson, if you are not ready, we'll move to Gideon. Gideon, please go ahead, unmute yourself and let's hear from you, please.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Yes, I'm happy to be here. I'm speaking from United States. Yes, I'm here again. Talking about parenting community responsibility in addressing drugs and gambling. Yes, it is a collective effort. It's not only the parents. It involves all of us. Because when I was in the school, I learned that um, a safe child, a healthy child, an educated child makes a great nation, right? So we need to protect our children because they are the future of tomorrow. They are the one that will make the decision of our country. So we need to start protecting them. Yes, for drugs and gambling, we should be reporting the information to the NDLEA, right? The family should get involved and watch their children, monitor them whenever something is wrong, and approach issues softly and get help from NDLEA. Yes. So for issue of gambling, I think Nigeria is getting it wrong in their gambling system, right? I live in America and I know how the gambling system works. Nigeria should have a central system of gambling, and the gambling station should be limited. Like the last speaker says, you can't have gambling station all over everywhere in the country. Just one street can have like 15, 20 gambling stations. And this gambling station allow children under 18 to participate and get involved, right? So our lawmakers and us, Nigeria, should raise alarm against gambling so that the government will come out and establish a system and also limit gambling commercial and advertisement, right? So if the government and the people raise that alarm and make a law that will limit all these gambling um companies, it will help to reduce gambling situation and its effects on our children because it's a very dangerous thing that stops the children from pursuing their future because they believe that they can get rich under 2 minutes and there's no way it can happen, right? So all of us should get involved, talk about it, and share all the information we have, even this space. Sorry. Hello? Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Anyone hear me?
yes, yes, Gideon, please go ahead. I will come in once you're done. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. So, like this space we are talking about, someone should download it, interpret it in various languages like Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, and share it to those that are not here. It will help us to make a change. It will help us to change a lot of things about gambling and drug addiction in our country, and also encourage our people and you know send the information to them. Mostly those that don't have access to social media and like Facebook X. A lot of us don't have access to it. So if you are here, go out there in the community and explain to them that we are talking about um, gambling, drugs effects in our community. Thank you, and I hit my mic.
Can I comment, Safemi, on what Gideon said? I also pick on what Ego Boy said earlier. Okay. So, Gideon, thank you very much for that. That is a very, very wonderful observation you've made. And there's a stark difference between what happens in the US and what happens in Nigeria and in Africa. We have a long way to go, but we can do it. Now, on this issue of adverts, it's really, really sad. So when research was done recently in the Southwest, one of the data points that we got out was that a lot of people started gambling because of adverts. And most of these adverts are framed in such a way that you think that when you play, you're there to win. So they lure you in, incentivizing you to think that every time you play, it's going to be nothing but winning. And that is wrong. And we tell them that why that is wrong is because, on one hand, you claim that you should only gamble for entertainment. But on the other hand, you're promoting gambling as a means of livelihood. What is entertaining about someone, losing 10 million naira? What is entertaining about someone spending over 9 hours every day gambling? And you can see it because you're the owner of that platform. You know, you can see everything going on and you're allowing it. But on the other hand, you're going about saying it should only be for entertainment, but you're enabling every single thing that makes this not to be entertaining. You're allowing players to stay as long as 24 hours on your app. You're, putting out adverts that make gambling look like something that anyone can just come and do and be winning. These are the things that are, impacting on people's perception about gambling. And you're absolutely right. The government has a role to play, and the role the government has to play is through regulation. And one of the things Gamble Aware NG, Gamble Pulse Initiative Africa, and others that are in this fight, one of the things we've been advocating for is for the regulators to step up. We've written to the regulators, we've told them what is happening, we've shared information with them, and we are waiting for them to act. And they have to act because by not acting, you're putting the lives of millions of young Nigerians at risk. I'll give you a case. The other day, a young boy came to us. He showed us a particular app. He was begging this app, please remove me from your app. Because they did not have the self-exclusion option, he could not leave. Because they did not have any proper phone number for him to call, he could not leave. He was begging the customer service agent on chat. He showed us, please let me go. And you know what this customer sales agent turned around and did? The customer sales agent turned around and offered him free money to bet. We have all of this documented evidence. And this is something that a regulator should not stand and watch. A regulator should not stand and watch a financial tech platform acting as a gambling company, sending promotion messages everywhere. So please, we need your voices. We need to put pressure on the system that they need to act to protect millions of young Nigerians. And in our way, we are doing that. I told you about how some of these young creatives are, finding time to come online to speak about gambling addiction, to speak about substance abuse. Please, if you see them, follow, share, join. Also, I'm using this opportunity to say, if you're interested in volunteering with us, because we have volunteers in over 26 states, if you would like to volunteer with us so that you can raise awareness physically in areas where there's no internet penetration, please DM us or reach out to NDLA. They'll put you in touch with us. So that was to you, Gideon. Thank you. And just to quickly touch on Eagle Boy. Eagle Boy, when you talked about debt, I shook my head because a gambling addict and debt is like 5 and 6. They carry debt like a hawker carries gala in traffic. They are always with debt. In fact, when we did a survey of our community, we realized that over 90 something percent of them are carrying debt. And it's one of the things we are telling this industry. The growth that you're projecting is unsustainable because these people are playing with borrowed money. They are borrowing money to gamble, and you can see it. So debt is a very critical point because pressure from young people owing debt is what drives them back to gambling. Any gambler that is here will tell you that is a fact. When they sit down and they see that, oh, they are owing somebody 100,000 and they are with 10,000 now, do you know what they do? They say, let me take this 10,000 and double it so that I can raise money to go and pay that 100,000. And do you know what always happens? That 10,000 that they put, they lose it. They'll come back with 50,000 to try and recover the 10,000. Before you know, they've lost 100,000. Before you know, the debt that was 100K is now 1.2 million. This is happening every single second as I speak. I'll pause. Safemi, over to you to moderate.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, Gambo aware. That's interesting conversation going on there. Thank you very much, Eagle Boy, and thank you, Gideon. Gideon is a regular voice on this platform. Thank you very much for your time. We know right in the US, this should be your working hour, and you still find time to be a part of this conversation. Thank you. All right, let's take the next one from Somto Shuku. Somto Shuku, please go ahead, unmute yourself, and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Gamble away, to be sincere, it's just as if you are speaking my experience, to be sincere. Gambling, no be here, my brother. Gambling. Especially all those crash, all those fast. No, there's a level that one will gamble. You no longer have that patience to wait for Real Madrid or all this one to score. When you will start looking for crash that will pay money in less than 5 minutes. Forgetting that less than 5 minutes that you are looking for maybe 100,000, that less than 5 minutes you can lose 500,000 there. I'm a living witness. I'm a living experience. I can't even be able to describe it, to be sincere. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. And these financial companies, like all these fintech, these banks that also advertise these gambling companies for someone who is trying to recover. To the extent I had to install one something bet locker, bet notification, blocking, and all those things on my phone. But upon that, it still didn't work until I was just trying to regain myself a bit and also stop those fast things. I will only focus on the normal sports betting, which I've been able to block now as at this moment. To be sincere, it's not an easy one. And I will not advise anyone who have not started to start. And one thing about this gambling is that once you win, there's no going back. Coming out of it is something that's really very strong. But thanks to Gamble Aware and others that have been trying to sensitize the youth, the young ones, from this gambling palaver, because I would say it's a very big wahala. Thanks to them, in fact, it's really, if possible, gambling is something that a state of emergency should be declared on. To be sincere. And gambling leads to a lot of social vices. To be sincere. Gambling leads to many trouble in the society because someone who used money that another person give to him to go and bet or to go and play gamble, knowing the kind of disrespect and knowing the kind of thing that will come by the time you lose that money and the person start asking for the money, the person will be ready to do anything to make sure you get that money. And one thing about it is that even if you go and borrow, at the end of the day, you still go back to that main place, to that same gambling. So to be sincere, I don't know if there's any easy solution for others, but it's not an easy task, to be sincere. Thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much. I
right.
really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Somto, for your contribution there. We definitely get important thing is raising awareness sensitization like this across all platforms so that people can know about some of these issues. The nexus. Don't forget that we started from the story of one of our officers who lost her 1 point. That's 1,150,000 to a 22-year-old boy who collected the money on her behalf, only to divert the money to go and gamble and lost everything. The parents had to be the one that paid eventually. And the story of the same young man when he was in his final year in the uni, his entire school fees, that's in millions, was also diverted to gamble and lost everything. It is simply they had to contribute the money for him to be able to graduate. So we know some of these issues, and at the NDLA, our concern primarily is the nexus between these issues, that's this gambling thing, and the drug addiction. Because definitely when somebody loses money, due to gambling, and then to want to maintain steez, they go into substance abuse, and gradually they get this comorbidity problem, and then becomes a different thing. Becomes they become dependent, and as a result of that, they also go into crime. For instance, diverting somebody's money, it's a crime. But so these are the issues we are trying to unpack and resolve and raise awareness about them, so that people, especially parents and communities, can know what to do, what roles they have to play. At our level, at the NDLA, we continue to do as citizens, we continue to encourage everyone to do theirs, and we're glad that we have other well-spirited organizations like Gambo Aware, Lobby Stars, Ario, and Co., who are also doing the other side of it. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's take the next contribution from Comrade Ismaila Mohammed. Comrade Ismaila Mohammed, please unmute yourself and let's hear your. Okay, good. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I just wanted to share one story that one parent had come to me here in Gombe. It's 2 days ago. His own child is in primary 4, but in case of these gambling issues, he already made his own children. They are not going out. They are always at home. They are just playing these games. And it happened that he is in the parlor sitting down. He had the child is communicating with an adult man, somebody that is speaking. That person, he just came out and said, who are you speaking with? Because he said, he is his friend. The man is in Lagos while the child is in Gombe here. Through that apps, that he's the one that even helping the child to win almost, he cannot lose. This one, it's become that the thing is very very shock him, and he just come to me, this issue that you are even uh, telling us that is true, because I have seen it in my house. I told him, I say, yes, that's why we are looking way of making awareness, so that at least people will know that these issues that this issue of gambling will lead to different things later on. And as you said, it will lead to what? To substance, illicit substance. That is drug abuse. That is the major thing. When you lose your money and you have no option than to what? To have something that will calm you down, so that you will even start thinking that you have to take something that will make you sleep, make you do this. That's why from that thing you have gone. Two things involved in this issue. I pray that we will get at least support for us to do this advocacy awareness before the government will put some policies inside it. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Comrade Ismaila there. If Gabo Aware is not speaking to that, can we go to the next person? Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say quickly, thank you very much for that comment, Ismaila. We are seeing more and more of that. And absolutely, I love this topic because parents need to be aware. Parents need to monitor their watch phones. Parents need to be vigilant on what their children are doing. If you see that your child is becoming increasingly introverted, always indoors, always on his phone, please collect that phone and check on what they are doing. Because a lot of children now are always on their phones, and a lot of them are getting what? Exposed to adverts, inviting them to come and gamble. The other day, someone called us and said that his child was playing a children's game that is usually, I think, for children between the ages of 10 to 15. And inside that game, there was a gambling ad. And this is happening under the noses of parents. So please be vigilant, and thank you for raising that. Safemi, over to you.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's take the next from Alexandra Okoro. After that, we come to Woni Wale. Thank you, Alexandra, for being part of the conversation today. Please go ahead. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Femi. Okay, thank you. I'm here. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Thank you, our speaker for today. This is a very, very important topic. You see, the
the issue of gambling is one that we should present to young people as an enemy of their dreams, an enemy of their dreams. And I think we should also engage with the NOA. I don't know if they're currently doing something about it. The NOA and the Ministry of Education, such that before a child leaves secondary school, several awareness is introduced even through their curriculum. Okay, because not only do we even need to get our young people to stay away from gambling. Gambling affects everybody, and because we cannot trust these sites, we cannot trust the 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 platforms. We can never trust them. For them, it is money, so they don't care who is playing, whether you are young or old. I think we should just see gambling as an enemy of our dreams, an enemy of our lives. Okay? And begin to tell our young people not to engage in gambling at all because of the effects. Imagine a man who squanders his entire retirement to gambling and then begins to impoverish the entire family. I have scenarios like that around me. Okay? And of course, there is a strong link between gambling and drug abuse. In order to avoid depression, in order to stay strong, in order to still feel like you can man up, you take something to stay alive. So, gambling is a waster of destiny, is a waster of resources. Young people who should be creative look for a way to generate money the right way. Because gambling is trying to get money the wrong way or multiply resources the wrong way. And just as one gambling will lead to another, you give yourself false hope that the next one is going to work, and that's how they keep getting into it until it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit that becomes stronger than them, they will now require help. So this is a very important issue that we need to deal with. Not just telling them that you need to be 18 to gamble. The fact is that gambling is not good for you at whatever age, whatever level, because it can destroy an entire family. So let's engage with the NOA, the Ministry of Education to say, see, let's preserve our young ones. Can we have gambling introduced into your curriculum in a way that suits their age? And I believe if we do that with the great work that our speaker is doing, we will record even more successes as we progress. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you, Mr. Femi, for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much, Alexander. Gambo Aware, you want to speak to that or we should slide?
Just quickly, and I just want to thank you very much, and also to let you know that those stories increasingly are coming closer and closer to home. The other day, we met with a man, I think he's 52 years old. He was made in life, but he was introduced to gambling by one of his hotel staff. I'm very disappointed to tell you that right now, that man doesn't own a hotel again and he doesn't have anything to his name because of that addiction. So, yes, you're absolutely right. It is no respect of anyone, regardless of your age. And we really need strong institutional support. And NDLEA, you guys are doing an amazing job. We will keep relying on you to influence other institutions in terms of advancing this awareness. I'll stop here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dan. Let's take the next one from Abdul Basit. Abdul Basit, please unmute yourself. Let's hear from you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, Mr. Alexander, can you comment on the Okay, good evening, everyone. So, I'm the last thank you very much for the section. So, it's really important and enlightening. So, I want to on the issue of drug abuse. So, like we all know, drug abuse is a major issue. In fact, the silent pandemic, because the rate at which the data that everyone needs to make reference to is a 2018 UNODC data that says about 14.3 million Nigerians use drugs, and only and that is in 2018. But we've not had any official reports till 2025. And just after COVID-19, the amount of people I know personally that have even gone into drugs are more than 50. So I believe that if we would have done double of that number, which means that we need to pay more attention to this issue. So in that light, I decided to come up with something. We have an intake recovery. So what we do immediately is that we encourage people. Yes, we know that people have gone into drugs, but our own aim is now to aid recovery. So how do they recover from substance abuse, encourage them to use the education center. So we don't just do that. One of the things we also do is that we now build solutions to make the education effective. So because one of the major problems in even leaving drug abuse is the problem of relapse. Even those that have spent money going to the rehabilitation centers, which are even very expensive, in the long run, still like some of them, they later that say about 40 to 60% of them relapse within the first 1 year, which is a major concern also. So because of that, we came up with a solution that assists the rehabilitation centers in post rehab tracking to be able to track the patient after leaving the facility and to have a close like to get close information on what the rehabilitation centers and what the patient is doing on a day-to-day in day-to-day activity so that they could make informed decisions to prevent relapse. So I'm saying this to inform NDLA so you know how they can assist us in promoting this solution because we've been trying to get list of the education centers because this is a solution that is very, very crucial to the education process. So you don't know if there's a place where you could get the access, you could access information of all the education centers so you can start to push this kind of solutions to them. And also we have other one coming up to just to make sure that the youth are able to because no matter I don't like they know how no matter how people even let you know how people are even funding rehabilitation, they know we don't have enough facilities that can take even half of those that are into drugs. So, but when we start to have solutions that democratize what rehabilitation process could look like, I think in that way it could have efficient rehabilitation and we could reduce the numbers a bit. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. I commend you for what you are doing. And if I heard you properly, we're always open to partnership and cooperation. Like I did say at the beginning of this conversation, we just have barely 10 minutes more to go. I did say that indeed the agency, apart from 30 counseling and treatment centers spread across the country. We do hope that by the end of this year, we'll have additional 7. And in addition to that, we have a 24/7 call center where we have a wide range of experts ranging from counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatric doctors who work morning, afternoon, evening, night, 24/7. And anybody can sit anywhere and access that facility. Psychosocial support services available at the facility right on your telephone. So definitely, if that's what Abdul Basit is talking about, all of those are available across the country. And if you need any of the addresses, they are also available on our websites across the states. You see our treatment and counseling centers across the states. You have our address. You have the addresses on our website. That's ndla.gov.ng. Anybody can go there and get the addresses of our treatment and counseling centers. Thank you very much once again, Basit, for your contributions and for what your group is doing. Okay, let's be able to take 2 more before we close the conversation today. Let's take nursing. Nursing, please go ahead quickly. We did ask you, we did invite you before. Okay, if Nelson is not ready, let's go to Precious Udoka. Precious Udoka, please go ahead in 1 minute so that our guest speaker can give his final take or final. All right, I think I can see Precious Udoka is struggling with his network there. Unfortunately, that may be the last opportunity we'll be able to give on this edition of our conversation today. We'd like to appreciate everyone. But before we draw the curtain, let's invite our guest speaker, Gabriel J. Apabio, who is the founder of Gabo Aware NG, to give his closing remarks, and then we'll be able to appreciate everyone and end the conversation for today. Thank you very much once again. Our guest speaker, Gabriel Apabio. Please go ahead with your closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Sir Femi. Thank you so much to the entire NDLA team and to everyone that took the time to join us today. This is a very, very important conversation, and I'm very that we have platforms like this where we can share, ideas, where we can talk about the problem and where we can also co-create on the solution. You see, the thing with gambling addiction, it's comorbidity with substance abuse. The problem is that more young people are seeing, people living fast lifestyles. They are getting drawn into it. More young people are watching advertisements on gambling. They are getting drawn into it. And like someone said earlier, gambling addiction is actually a gateway to other addictions. It's the truth. If you've ever experienced it, you know that to come down from the high of a gambling addiction, you need to almost definitely turn to either drugs or turn to alcohol abuse. It's very, very hard to be able to do it independent. So please, we want you in your whatever capacity to help us raise awareness, to help us educate people. And if you find opportunities that are there, to put this messaging out to a wider audience, please let us know. We are very happy to come on, whether it's radio stations, whether it's TV stations, whether it's small seminars, webinars. We are very happy to come up and to speak and to keep sharing this message. And to also say that we're also appealing for support. So if you are able to volunteer in our community, we are very happy to have you. Like I said, we have volunteers in 5 student universities. We have volunteers in different states. If you would like to volunteer in whatever state that you're in, we're happy to have you. Just reach out to us. And to also say that we are increasing, the frequency of our messaging. We are taking it not just from within Nigeria, we're also taking it to Africa, because what you're seeing that is happening here in Nigeria is also happening in different countries in Africa, whether it's in Kenya, whether it's in Senegal, South Africa. We are seeing more and more young people plunging into the darkest despair of gambling addiction. So please, we need you to be able to amplify our messaging. Follow us. If you see opportunities to spread our word, please do so. And I want to just close again by thanking Sir Femi and the NDLA team. We will be coming to you because we have quite a lot of ideas on how we can synergize, especially on your toll-free line, because they are so effective and we can see that it is equipped to be able to handle any sort of addiction query. So we want to talk more about how we can help promote that line within our community and also to the audience that we serve. So thank you so much, everyone. It was really a pleasure being here with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. Gabriel Akpabio is the founder of Gabo Aware NG, and I also like to assure you that the NDLA at the moment, we've been able to successfully midwife an FM radio station in Abuja here called Cleanbeat 91.5 FM. Cleanbeat 91.5 FM. Actually, the head of that station is right on this platform. She's a Tohan. The tour is available. We can also make this partnership to extend to make the radio platform available to your group for this kind of conversation and all of those things that we need to do to continue to sensitize and raise awareness. That's why we are here. All right, thank you very much once again. Gabriel Jilapabio is the founder of Gabo Aware NG, a leading non-profit organization engaging over 130,000 young people aged 18 to 24 across all 36 states of the Federation and 7 African countries on responsible gambling and harm addiction. We've been talking in the last 2 hours on parental and community responsibilities in addressing drug abuse, gambling, and crime among young adolescents. And I must tell you that it's been a very interesting and indeed eye-opening engagement on this platform today. I want to thank everyone that have been a part of this from across the globe. Thank you very much, Gideon, who is a regular from the US, and all of those are compatriots joining us from across other states in the US, Europe, including Asia, and the rest of Africa, particularly our country here, Nigeria. Thank you very much for everyone. Thank you, Lobby Stars, for all that you do to support this whole effort. Thank you. We appreciate everyone. And to my colleague there, thank you very much, Rita in Lagos, Francis, Dele, Mahmoud, Kumbi, Philemon, Sinin, uh, Ebun, Jane, and the rest of you guys. Thank you very much for all that you do behind the scene. We appreciate. Now it's almost on the hour of 5. We'd like to draw the curtain at this point. But then before we go, we'd like to also let you know that, it's Friday. We want to let down our guard, but we just want to encourage you, please, if you are going to be going out to relax or to unwind, please ensure that you do things in moderation. But then, importantly, please avoid experimenting or indulging in illicit substances or things that you will do and the scars may never go off for the rest of your life. Please, let's stay conscious, let's stay aware, let's avoid things that would lead to regret. It's our plea with you, it's our encouragement, and please, let's stay well aware of our environment at all times. This is the much we can take today. We'll be back next time, and we would always share our postcards and publicity materials to let you know what next we are discussing, who is coming, and how we do it. Thank you very much once again. We appreciate all of you for being part, especially our guest speaker today. He's done an excellent job with his partners, Lobby Stars, and others. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation today. We'll come your way next time. Thank you. Have a good evening and a wonderful weekend. Bye from here.